Coming up, let's meet Druva, Endpoint Data Protection and Governance for Enterprises. Please welcome T. Lim, Vice President Marketing.
You're watching YBLTV, brought to you by
The Your Biz Live Badge, a wearable video player delivering your company message through video. Recently, you announced a new deployment for your InSync endpoint data protection platform. How does this new deployment help large enterprises with scalability issues?
The deployment allows them to really reap the benefits of what public cloud provides some of our customers already, which is the ability to scale out really quickly and scale up very quickly in terms of storage. Except it addresses the needs of some of the enterprises who would like to keep all that data in-house. And because it addresses those needs, these companies now can use Object Store, which what our private cloud leverages, to go ahead and house all that data in-house, and at the same time give them the scalability and the flexibility to be able to scale out or scale up their architecture without having to buy new infrastructure or move all their data to the cloud. Some companies are very, very sensitive about the information that they collect and they want to keep within their on-premise deployments, and so this really provides them the ability to do that.
Cloud security, what are the biggest risks in these areas, and how is Druva addressing them?
With cloud security specifically, the risks really pertain around how data is stored and how data is encrypted, and also how data is being accessed and the processes around how it's being accessed. So first off, how data is being stored. How it's being actually captured and stored in the cloud. So it serves a large security risk because it really is around the way in which companies encrypt that data and where they keep it. So for a solution provider like Druva, we store all our customers' data within a virtual private cloud, and we store the next customer's data within a different virtual private cloud. So if for some reason in which it's almost impossible that someone can have access to that data, the infiltrator cannot infiltrate the rest of the customer's data. So we protect them from each other. The second thing is how data is encrypted. So we actually have this technology called two-factor encryption, where we store encryption keys at a different location than where the data is stored. We create an environment that if someone really needs to access that data, they need to have not only the customer's encryption key, but the user's encryption key. And without those two things, and Druva's encryption key, and so without those two things, the end user or the person cannot get any access to that data. And then the last thing is about processes. So processes now, especially with the way that the NSA has really created a lot of concerns around data privacy specifically. Druva, in that two-factor encryption model, actually cannot produce any data for any regulatory agency without the end user or the customer also providing an encryption key. So our customers really have the peace of mind where if we're subpoenaed by a regulatory agency that they would know and they would have to also themselves be subpoenaed before we can provide that data. Also, the way we go about the cloud storage and ops process, we separate groups from each other so that certain groups that create the accounts and groups that have access to the data are different. And so by doing so, we ensure that there's multiple layers of security, even with the people within Druva, and ensures that if for some reason there's access is applicable, for some reason we have also an encryption key from a customer, it also has to go through a different group.